Fizz and Ramona still in the house. And guys, let's keep with the TV theme we had previously on. Well, let's now discuss the cliffhanger in last year's season finale. Jamal Murray, one of the big breakout stars in the bubble, averaging 24.4 points, scored more than 40 points in 4 games. Jamal has no All-Star, no All-NBA appearances, but that sure looks like it's about to change. Coach, what are your expectations for Jamal this upcoming season in what is still a very packed Western Conference?
Well, I expect him to make the All-Star game. That's the next step for a guy that had that kind of playoff, who's taking that kind of jump, knowing how that makes you feel. He's probably been in the gym, in the weight room, working on every little bit of his game because he understands there's a gauntlet out west at point guard to get into that All-Star game and to get past a team like the Lakers to get into the finals. You're talking about Steph coming back, John Wall just came west, Dame Lillard, Chris Paul. You got the young kid in Memphis who's spectacular, Ja. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. So every night he's going to have to play like he played in the playoffs to take that all-star spot. And that same kind of effort will lead his team to a higher plateau. I think the kid is fantastic. I think the word nuclear is a great word to describe him when he starts to get going.
Well, I think, for young players, when you have a performance like he did in the bubble, the whole rest of the league is now watching all that tape and trying to adjust to him because he's just become a force that you have to reckon with if you're going to play the Nuggets. Now, I think the biggest issue for him is, can he do this consistently when they're not in the bubble and he's not locked into playoffs? And also on the defensive end, because the Nuggets obviously lost some great defensive players, and he's got to step up on that side and be a leader on that side of the ball because that is, Mike Malone was joking today, we lost some defenders. I guess we're going to score 130 every night. But generally speaking, defense wins championships in this league. So I think that's where he's got to improve.
All right, I want to take a look at the games the Nuggets fans will need to binge watch in the first half of the schedule. Christmas Day, the Nuggets host the Clippers, who they, of course, bounced out of the playoffs. Clips looking for a little revenge there. They will also face the new-look Suns on ESPN on January 22nd. And finally, it's spoiler alert time. Caesars gives the Nuggets 10-1 odds of winning the Western Conference behind the Lakers and the Clippers. So, Coach Fizz, where do you predict Denver will finish in the West standings? Are you at 3 also?
It all depends on what the Clippers decide to do. Is someone going to take ownership of that team in that locker room? I know what T. Lue is going to bring. Kenny Atkinson, Dan Craig, Chauncey Billups, Larry Drew. That staff is loaded. They ready to coach. But is someone in that locker room going to take ownership of that team and really lead that group to the place they need to be? And a lot of that is going to be based on is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard playing the appropriate amount of minutes together. Because remember, it was minutes management last year, and the big thing was they never got together and got to clicking. And so that's going to be critically important for them to get the number 2 seed. Because if they don't get clicking, that Denver team is ready to take off. And Jokic ain't no joke. So that's where I'm at with it.
It's crunch time here on The Jump. The Bucks gave Giannis a unique gift for his 26th birthday. After practice, the entire team sang happy birthday to him and then filled his locker with pens. Of course, Giannis is deciding whether or not to sign a Supermax extension with the Bucks. So I guess the team thought he could use some pens this year to help him sign. Ramona, do you think the birthday gift will help Giannis decide whether or not to stay in Milwaukee?
Look, I don't think they need to pressure him. I mean, do you feel like peer pressure is going to be a good thing here? I think you just sit back and act like nothing's happening. Just sit back, let him do his thing, let him come around to it when he's ready.
I don't know. I think you got to keep letting them know how much you want them and how much you love them. You don't want to take it for granted that he knows, and then at the end of this thing, he's leaving you and he's saying, well, they never showed me that they love me. So throw all the pins in his locker, do everything, balloons in his car.
Fizz, they're offering him almost $300 million. How much more love do you want them to show him? They have shown them
whatever it takes to keep him in Milwaukee.
I get that.
I'm telling you, do whatever it takes.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.